Right, back again. Another review. Arsenal versus Watford, and tonight I'm joined by James. Been gone for a couple of weeks. How you doing, James?
Good evening. Hello. Very well, thank you. How are you all?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been to a few games since I saw you at the Europa League, didn't I, the other week?
Yeah, I saw you at the Volska Poltava and also went back for Arsenal-Brentford in the League
Brentford
Cup.
as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm also joined by my regular Sam. How you doing, Sam?
Oh yeah, I'm all good. How's everybody tonight? How are we all doing? We all good, yeah?
And last of all, I'm joined by my guest. I'm privileged to have this guy on, Lee Judges. How you doing, Lee?
Yeah, doing all right. Thanks for having us on. Looking forward to it.
Thanks. Let's just might as well get into it. What is people's opinions on? Let's get the performance side first. What are people's opinions on the performance for this week, Saturday? Because years gone by, we've been slated for not having that sort of underbelly, that gumption for playing badly and still being able to win the game. Whereas this weekend we've done it, we're not getting that credit that any other team would get. If that was a Man City performance, Man City went there and played like that and got the win, everyone would be lauding them left, right, centre.
Well, even that is.
But it seems because it's up evening. Also, another guest is DJ Fury. I was just saying,
Who the hell's DJ Fury?
everyone's opinions on the performance, basically, and saying how we're not getting the credit we deserve, really, from the media.
Yes.
James, what you got on that one?
I would agree.
Yeah, James,
want to talk about I'm playing bad. I'm doing good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we can't win. If we play bad, it's like we win, we don't get the credit. If we play good and we don't win, we get slated.
True. Yes. Agree.
But if it's anyone else, like Man City, Chelsea, or Liverpool, they get lauded either way. It's like they get a pass.
Regarding our fitness, Sam, come on. We don't get them no credit at all.
David, will you call me when you get this, please?
Yeah,
the fittest team in the Premier League. No Premier League at all.
You're watching EastEnders or something. Are you watching Coronation Street or something? But I can hear that thing.
Oh dear, one of them nights.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Oh dear. Yeah, James, what do you think about that?
Well, I think the British press are always going to have their flavours of the month and always going to pick who they want. So I'm quite happy for us to be flying under the radar at the minute. I'm quite happy with that. This is a new era. This is something we've all got to embrace. We've made a fantastic start. We've got a manager who's so proactive with his substitutions in particular, and he's come here to win. And you watch him on the touchline as well. I've been fortunate enough to see 2 games live so far against Volska Poltava and Brentford, and he's cajoling, he's looking, he's studying, he's encouraging, and it's contagious as well. You see the players, seeing that on the sideline, and it gives them an extra boost to go forward, make that run. He's giving youth a chance as well. And it's a fantastic start, but I think the press are always going to have their favourites and their way of going about their business. I'm just happy that we're flying a little bit under the radar, to be honest.
True.
Yeah, I get that. It's just frustrating, because obviously we've always had this. We've never had that under. So it's sort of under a new regime showing that. I'd like to give us some credit at least. But it just seems like, no, because it's Arsenal, no, can't do that.
Of course.
What about you, Lee? What do you think, Lee?
No, I think that at the end of the day, people give you credit for what's right and what's wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, listen, if Manchester City get a result when they win 1-0 or 2-0 and they ain't played well, they turn around and say, oh, that's what you need to be a good side, to grind out a result. And the fact of the matter is that what we've done is we've ground out a couple of results over the last couple of games. And at the end of it, in the course of a season, to win leagues and that, you've got to do that. I'm not saying Arsenal are going to win the league because they're not. But to get into the top 4, we're going to have to beat the likes of Watford. We're going to have to beat the likes of Fulham, because the fact of the matter is the teams above us in that top 4 are going to beat them as well. So it don't really matter how you do it, as long as you do. And you know, listen, I thought Watford impressed me on Saturday. I thought they was a physical, tough side, sort of sides that are our weakness, our kryptonite, if you like. But we overcome it somehow. We got over the line, you know, and perhaps didn't deserve it. But I've heard many a times when people have turned around and said, like, you know, Arsenal don't win dirty enough. They don't win those sort of games, and now we're winning them. If no one's talking about them, then fair enough. Let's not bother about it, like, you know. But at the moment, you know, as you said there, you know, as James said, we're going under the radar at the moment. So be it. You know, no one's really even given us a chance to get in the top 4. But at the minute now, we're 5 points clear of Man United. So that's one of the rivals that we're 5 points clear of. And people, honestly, I said it earlier on, you know, everybody's turning around and saying Chelsea are having a great season. They're doing really, really well. But we're only 2 points behind Chelsea. And so if they're having a really great season and we're not doing really that well, things ain't too bad. So, you know, and it is nice and refreshing to see the players enjoying themselves, the manager coaching them from the sideline from the first minute to the last. And maybe him doing that in the last 10, 15 minutes got us the result on Saturday, where if you're just sitting on the bench not doing nothing, we may have gone on to lose that game or it pitted out to a 0-0. So all credit to the manager and credit to the players as well.
Exactly. What about you, Sam? Because you were there as well, Sam, on Saturday. What did you make the performance and how the media sort of side-passed us?
Personally, what Leah said, you know, 100% agree with. Like, you know, we weren't given, you know, we're not given enough credit for winning dirty. And if you want to be a big club, whether you're like, if you look at Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, your Bayern Munich, for example, they win dirty. They win dirty in their league, and that's why they're top clubs. And every top club wins games dirty. And like Lee said again, we probably would have lost this game because Watford are a bogey team. When we came across them in the FA Cup, was it 2 years ago? I mean, they got knocked out.
2016, yeah.
Bogey team. Season before that, where Mustafi was on an unbeaten streak as an Arsenal defender, Watford at home, we lost that. And then last season, Boy Dini called us out with a lack of cojones, and this time we've showed him that we've got cojones in this team.
True.
We've shown him that we've got cojones, because the way that we played, you know, they had us where they wanted us in the first half. This is what I said. They had us where they wanted us. In the second half, we showed our spirit. We showed our fight. We showed our character. And Unai Emery, like I said before, like, this is the guy that's going to take us forward. This season, right, he's trying to see what he can get out of these players. What can he get out of all these players, out of the players he's got in and out of the players he's got now? Work with the current bunch. If he thinks any of them are good or any of them are improving, example like Alex Iwobi, he'll keep them. The ones that aren't doing well, example Mustafi, because sometimes for me, in my opinion, he's a bit of a brain dead defender. So they'll ship him off next season. And if you saw Match of the Day, you saw the analysis of the heat map. Unai Emery running left, right, centre across the touchline.
Yep.
Would you have seen Wenger do that? Would you have seen Wenger do that? Wenger would have just sat there like this, being like, "Oh, we're losing. What am I meant to do about it?" Right, you're paid 8 million a year. You would know what to do about it. Look at Unai Emery, for example. He's still standing up. He's still going 7. Even when we were winning 2-0, he was still standing up, giving directions, giving them orders, going that we hold on to this. We've got to win this. 7 in a row. When was the last time we seen this? Was it 2014?
I was going to say. Where's the last time we won a 7-game win streak in all competitions?
7 in a row, and they told us be careful what you wish for. All these what talk sport and all this and all that. They told us be careful what you wish for. I'm sorry, this is what I wish for, and I'm happy what I'm seeing. I'm glad what I'm seeing. Like, I'm telling you this, right? Before I supported Arsenal, I studied the history. When I looked at George Graham's days, like, this is what gives me a reminiscence of it. George Graham was simple. If you wanted to play for the club, play for the badge that you wore, you simply acted like you played. You acted like it. You enjoyed every moment of it. You stepped on that pitch, and the pitch was like an oyster, and it was like how do I say it? Every time a footballer steps on the pitch, it's like when Eminem steps on stage, you do a rap battle. Yeah, you perform it, you lose yourself in the moment, and if you do well, you do well. If you don't do well, you keep your head held high, you carry on for the next game, and you see what happens.
That's a good point you brought up there about George Graham, because I've watched the '89 film a few times, and Paul Merson said how disciplined George Graham was, in the sense there was one day in training where he would be messing about with. Had a joke of George Graham himself, and George Graham didn't like it. Didn't say nothing. Didn't do nothing. But just dropped him for the next few months. Didn't say nothing. Just didn't play him. That's how disciplined. That's the discipline between him, the discipline levels that Unai Emery has, that George Graham has as well, because they are very similar in that way. Look at Mesut Ozil beginning of the season, publicly come out and said, like Mesut Ozil and others aren't playing good enough. Then he subbed him off against Chelsea. We weren't doing well enough. Dropped him for the West Ham game, and then since then, Ozil has, performance-wise, is getting better. He has even come out his back publicly, Unai Emery, on Match of the Day a couple of weeks after Newcastle, saying this is a new manager, new regime, new style, new ideas, and we as a club, as players, are buying into it. But you've got to give us time.
Yeah, Emery's come to us hell bent on succeeding. He wanted to become Arsenal manager, and he's using all his experience to get off to the best possible start. And if you think of the experience he's got in the past with Valencia and Sevilla and Paris Saint-Germain, also when he was at Almeria, they never got promoted in 25 years. But when he came along, they finally got promoted to the top division in Spain. Wow. And I think it's really great to see him being so proactive and wanting to succeed. I think Sam's point about George Graham is a very good point. George Graham is also the last manager to bring us European success.
94.
Which is 25 years ago this season, which is far, far, far too long. And we've got a manager in charge now that has won the competition 3 times in a row. So
hey guys, just remember the 2016 Europa League final. That's what caught my eye of Unai Emery. And losing 1-0 in the final, right? And you're outplayed, and this guy ended up outdoing Liverpool 3-1 in a final, in a European final. Something I never seen before, and that's what amazed me. Sorry, James.
Yeah, exactly. That was. I remember watching that game as well, and Liverpool, up to that first goal, were the dominant team. And as soon as that happened, it sort of his Dolce gone. Changed things half time, and second half they were Sevilla was a completely different team and deserved winners, and they absolutely romped it in the end.
The great thing about Unai Emery is that he's capable. He's now, if things don't go right, he's the one that's on the chopping block. So at the end of the day now, so where Arsene Wenger had a little bit of a free pass, at the end of the day, if someone's not doing the business, he knows that he could be sacked for it. So he's not going to allow that to happen. And I think that is, we've now got our manager with accountability. And that is such a key thing that, that if things don't go well, he will be relieved of his duties. And that in itself is a big motivation for a manager in a top class job. And so all of a sudden we've got that. I know that Arsenal are not a sacking club, which is a great thing to have. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting the results, you will go, and he knows that, so he's not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Also, what I thought in the last couple of weeks has been he's put a huge marker down on it for himself and the rest of the players in the club. How many years have we seen against the lower league opposition, Wenger in the League Cup, for example, put out kids and a couple of his second string players, whereas literally. Brentford comes along. He's like Mustafi. Like even our bench was strong.
Yeah,
for players that are playing Premier League football.
But I think it just shows his intent to win. I mean, I was at that match, and I thought that Brentford gave a fantastic account of themselves. They really played some good stuff at times, but a bit of to pick such a strong side from the off, and to show the intent to want to win, hopefully, a trophy in his debut season. It's a long old season, as we know only too well.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show how determined he is to succeed. And it's wonderful to have a manager who's come into the club and not just made changes for the benefit of the club, but made changes wanting to succeed as a manager. Because he signed for 2 years. It's going to be a long 2 years because there's lots of changes ahead. But he's assessing his squad day by day, bit by bit, and players who are conducive to his system, he will keep. Players that are not so much, I don't think he will. And with the experience he's got in the past, you know, it gives him the freedom to be able to do things like this. And I think it's something we should all embrace.
So let's just briefly staying on Emery at the moment. What would, for all of you, be an ideal end of the season for his first season at Arsenal?
Champions League football, Champions League qualification. It's as simple as that. Whether you get it through winning the Europa League, get it through top four, I don't mind. If he gets his Champions League football, I'll be happy. I don't care if he doesn't win silver in his first season, but gets his Champions League football, I will be very happy, because that's what we need. Get us back into the big time, and then from then on we can start getting the right players in, and then we can start challenging again. We can start next season challenge for the title. And with his, experience and stuff, we probably could challenge in Europe. And what I want Arsenal to be is what we haven't been for years, is a dominant force in Europe. The last time we were a dominant force in Europe was 12 years ago, where we beat the likes of Juventus, Real Madrid, a prime Villarreal en route to a final where we lost, where we just lost. And for me, this is what I want. I want Champions League football. Like, that's it. If he could win us a trophy and Champions League football, it's a bonus. It'll be, for me, he's over exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I concur with that. That's exactly what I would say. Top four,
definitely.
Either it'd be fantastic. But if we can, if I beat Greeny, let's be honest, I'd like to see us get top four and the Europa League. That's what I would like.
Yeah, I think with it being 25 years, Lee can remember 25 years ago. I was very young, but I can also remember 25 years ago, and it remains.
You weren't even married 25 years ago.
Yeah,
I was about 5 or 6.
But
I was 13.
I was very young at the time, but it remains one of the best nights I've ever had as an Arsenal fan. And that Parma side that we beat that night, that's
very good side.
That's akin to beating a Barcelona or Juventus now.
Of course.
Asprilla and Brolin, and there was so much pride in that win that, not just for Arsenal, but the whole country. The whole country got behind Arsenal. And people would think that that's foreign in this day and age, but back then, it happened. It happened too. But it remains one of the greatest nights I've had as a Gooner. I was very young at the time, but I still remember like it was yesterday. And it would just be wonderful 25 years on to finally win again in Europe, because it would give the club a massive boost. The
great night of being an Arsenal fan for me as a kid was the 2005 FA Cup final. 2005 FA Cup final for me. I was only 7 at the time. My neighbours were supporting Man United. So when Vieira scored that winning kick, I was giving them the middle finger. They told my parents, just join the being an Arsenal fan.
But we're only 4 points from top. 4 points from top.
Yeah, currently at the moment. Yeah, and we've got
at the moment
Fulham next.
Fulham, then we've got Palace.
Then we've got Leicester, and we've got Liverpool.
Leicester and Liverpool, yeah. They're doing and very well.
The next three games are key. The next 2 games, Fulham and Crystal Palace, and then Crystal Palace, Leicester, Crystal Palace. So the next 3 games in the league are real key games, because on paper you've got to win those games. If Arsenal are going to get Champions League football, they've got to win those 3 games. Now, if they win those 3 games, that pushes us in a right good position to take on Liverpool and really, see if we can and have a free hit them. You know what I mean? Go for it. You know what I mean? And there'd be certainly more pressure on them than there will be us to win that game.
Yes, of course.
So these next 3 games are, 2 away games, Palace and Fulham, local derbies. It's going to be tough. But, if Arsenal have got any ambitions about getting to top 4, they've got to win those games and then beat Leicester at home.
Of course, yeah.
And then we're in a good position.
Of course.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Also, another subject. Oh, go on, sorry.
I think we'll finish third in the league.
I said this back in just after we played Bournemouth. I thought we'd get top three, not third itself. Top
above who? Yeah. Above who do you think we're going to get above? Sorry, who do you think
above Tottenham? Above Tottenham.
Yeah, above Tottenham.
Top four.
I think you're asking a lot to get in the top three. I think that you're asking to like Chelsea and Liverpool. I think are going to go. They're the two chasing the title. I think Chelsea are going to be very, very tough to overhaul. And then you've got Spurs and Man United. So it's good, to come third, you've got to go. I think like fourth's pushing it. If I'll be honest, you know what I mean? Because don't forget, two teams are going to miss out. Two big teams are going to miss out. At the moment, it would be. Like the favourites for the top four. If I was a betting man at this moment, I would put Chelsea in there with Manchester City and Liverpool, and probably still put Spurs in there at the moment. But that's at the moment. But if Arsenal carry on doing what they're doing, who knows? But so top four. Like in a perfect world, it'd be like Spurs dropping out and us going in. In a perfect world, that's
yes, of course.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Tottenham Day. We celebrate that, innit?
Yeah, like listen, if we got top three, I think that'd be a fantastic. If we got in third at the end of the season, that would be a fantastic achievement. With the players that we've got.
For the players that we've got and what he walked into.
If we finish above Tottenham this season and we qualify for Champions League football, I'll buy all you guys a JT World. How does that sound?
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Indeed, we will.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. I'll buy every single one of you guys a bottle of JT World. We'll smash it together. We'll drink it. Great Tottenham. Great Tottenham. You understand?
Oh dear. Yes. The next subject we'll get on to was basically Ramsey. What people's opinions are? Well, basically, what people's opinions on Ramsey this season, and do they believe that his performance on Saturday, was down to him rebelling against the club for putting out the contract, the way they did so publicly as well.
Yeah, I think we should sell him in January. We sell him in January.
If the club got no intent on keeping him beyond this season, and they've got their eye on someone already to bring in as a replacement, and if that's the case, then I'd rather get something for him than nothing.
Of course, definitely.
As long as we've got, as long as Emery and the board, the setup, have got a replacement lined up that's better than what Ramsey is. It's all well and good. It'd be all well and good just spinning him off in January. They go and buy like for like.
Be criminal, right? If the club come the end of the season, let Ramsey go for free and Jack Wilshere go for free as well. Like, you know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
I think let's do another swap deal with
Man United. It's all down to Gazidis. Personally, I think this is all down to Gazidis. Gazidis has allowed these players, these contracts, to get down to literally lastminute.com. It's not just Jack Wilshere. It's not just Ramsey. We had it with Sanchez last year.
Welbeck could be got off on
Welbeck as well. Welbeck as well.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't mentioned that, but Welbeck's in the last year of his contract as well. And Monreal.
Yeah, and Monreal's had a very good start to the season, I believe. I'm very happy with how he's been playing. But I think the contract's been. I think the offer's been rescinded for a reason. I think Raul Sunieli and Emery have looked at it, and you made a good point about identifying a new player. I'm really interested and curious to see who they identify, because I think they're looking maybe at a market where the potential candidate might be someone we've never heard of. But I think they're looking and they're scouring, and it's very important. And I think this has all been done carefully. They haven't just rescinded the offer for no reason at all. They've rescinded the offer surely because they don't believe that it's the right thing to do, and they've identified another player. And I think it's a good thing, to be honest.
True.
Same here.
Same here.
What?
Same here. Me too.
Go on, you speak, mate.
As I said, it's like if they've got a replacement lined up and he's better than what Ramsey is, and we can get something. There's someone out there that wants Ramsey, and Ramsey does now does not want to commit because of what's gone on this week. Then there's no other choice but to let him go.
Your swap deal with Man United.
But until he comes out and says either way, and the club say themselves either way.
I think Arsenal are desperate for a wide player. We need a wide player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to actually say something there. I think if you go for the swap deal with Man United, Martial looks like he doesn't want to play for United no more. Send Ramsey to Man United. Get Martial to Arsenal. You know what I'm saying, Lee? Yeah.
Listen, that wouldn't be a bad scenario. But we're desperate for someone wide. Desperate.
Right.
Manchester United need a midfield player. I don't think. I'm not saying that Ramsey surplus requirements, but in the role and the system that we're playing at the moment, he probably doesn't fit in. So if we can get somebody and use him as a prawn, if you like, and the way. But he's saying that Ramsey might not want to go to Man United. Ramsey might want to go to abroad or something like that, you know. And obviously, being a free transfer,
and Ramsey wants to go to Liverpool.
Hey, you know what? If they just swap deal with Liverpool, I don't mind bringing Jorginho Wijnaldum because Wijnaldum can play as a winger as well, and Wijnaldum's very good at it. So.
Yeah, true.
Wijnaldum has come on leaps and bounds since he first debuted for Feyenoord many years ago.
True.
He's come on leaps and bounds. You wouldn't recognise the player in this day and age. I mean, when he started out here many years ago, there was question marks about him, about his speed, about his determination, and his ability to win a ball. And he's just made so much progression with Newcastle and now Liverpool. If a swap deal is banded about, that could be a decent option.
100%.
Okay. What about Iwobi? What's people's impressions on Iwobi? Because compared to last season, where I personally think the hype went to him and Wenger didn't control it properly.
Yeah,
Wenger did not have no control over it, and then we sort of come in. I think he got a new contract as well in the summer, didn't he? Iwobi?
Yeah.
So that sort of is, and what I remember he probably once like, look, really sort of released the shackles and said, play your game. I have faith in you. And he's sort of playing. He looks fitter, but he looks when he has the ball at his feet, he looks confident. He doesn't look like he's scared of his own shadow, basically.
No.
So, what about you guys? What do you think?
I think he's being managed to not overindulge, which is a good thing. I watched him play live back in February against Ostersund's, and he could not get past Ostersund's right back. Ostersund's right back had his number all night long, and Iwobi was getting so frustrated. He didn't have the bottle to run beyond him, to check inside, to use a bit of pace to go on the outside. He was just moaning at the referee and looking at the referee and staying down on the floor when he was tackled or falling over his feet. And I think now he's being managed and he's being instructed, and he's not necessarily being indulged, which is a good thing. And it's still going to take time, but there's green shoots now from him. I think he's got to stay relaxed. I mean, sometimes he can do things a little bit too much in a rush. If he just relaxes a little bit more and gains a bit more confidence, we'll see him improve even more in coming games, I think.
I've been quite impressed with Iwobi this season. He's really he's got a little bit fitter. But also, don't forget, when he first came into the side, he was a player. And I think that, James is right. I think he just lost his way a little bit, whether that's Wenger's fault or whether that's his own fault. Sometimes you have to look at yourself personally, your lifestyle and whatever you're doing. He was caught out at nightclubs at late age or at parties and things like that. So I think at the end of the day, also, I think maybe he was in last chance saloon with Arsenal. And, you don't want to lose the chance to play for Arsenal willy-nilly. So he's been told, look, knuckle down, work hard, this is what you're going to get. And I also think that, which is a key thing, is that, if you do work hard, you do get your chance, you'll stay in the team. And at the minute, he's doing the business. And I think that there's definitely a chance for him now to get a run in the Premier League side, and deservedly so. So I'm optimistic that he's going to do well. And I think that a lot of that is down to himself personally, having a little look at himself and maybe thinking to himself, You know, I've got a buck up here as well. I don't think you can keep using Arsene Wenger as every time someone's not doing something as it's all Arsene Wenger's fault, because during Arsene Wenger's reign there was some fantastic players that come through. You know, sometimes along the lines you've got to look at yourself as well. And I think that Alex Iwobi's had a little look at himself.
True.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sam?
I think personally, I agree with everything that Leah said. Again, you know, he's had a look at himself. He was doing the wrong things last year, was under a lot of criticism. A lot of people disliked him. I remember when this rumour came about Lazio wanting to bid, was it 24 million for him? And a lot of Arsenal fans, including myself, because I was a critique of Alex Iwobi as well, where I was like, you know what, yeah, take the money and run, because I don't see anything good in this player. But Unai Emery and with Unai Emery coming in and Alex Iwobi himself, you know, improving himself, you know, he even said, like, you know, the intensity, the training, the way he's been training, the way he's been dieting, the way he's been doing things has changed him. He's become more of a hungry player. He was the one on Saturday that changed the game.
Yeah,
true.
He was the one on Saturday that changed the game. And that just shows you that, you know, Unai Emery's built something fantastic about him and around him. Let me tell you something. When he first hit the scene 2 years ago against Everton, and we beat him 2-0, I put my hand up and said, you know what? This guy is the Nigerian version of Iron Robin. He's going to be the Nigerian version of Iron Robin, because the way that his speed came in, the way that he you know, how lethal he was, and in the season after that he fell off a bit, and last season as well. But now we're starting to see the Iwobi we saw first emerge on the scene 2 years ago. And honestly, I'm proud of the lad. I'm absolutely proud of the lad. He's Arsenal through and through, and this is one criticism that we've had for years, is that our youth structure was so bad that the players that came through weren't always staying. They were always going elsewhere. They were shipped off left, right, centre. Against Brentford the other day, we had a guy called Nico Yenaris, I believe his name was.
From a youth player.
When I saw him play in a youth league, he was doing well. But then afterwards, he got shipped off, and now he's playing at Brentford. And I'm thinking, hold on, what's going on here? But yeah.
Well, yeah. Yerenis, he's not the only youth player down the years that's been not just vault through and then shipped off for a quick buck. We've had Frimpong a couple of years back. He broke on the scene. Everyone.
Craig Eastman playing recently as well. Now it's Saturn United.
We had Jay Bothroyd. We had Harry Kane, as we most notably all know. a lot of youth players. A lot of youth players.
The Tottenham Academy.
Nah, from the Arsenal Academy, did we let him go, and then you know?
No, he never likes to admit it, though.
Yeah, he never likes to admit it. Well.
Oh dear. This weekend, due to unfortunate circumstance with Petr Cech and his hamstring, we got to see Leno make his debut in the Premier League.
Of course,
maybe for the second half, but. What are people's impressions of that second half itself?
I was very pleased.
Okay.
I think it was a great. You know, like, listen, he done well, and the save that he made was match defining in that 20 minutes to go from the end. I was right behind that, and for when it went, I said, "Oh no, that's a goal." It was a fantastic save. It was a fantastic.
I was up in the corner of that one.
Yeah, it was a fantastic save. And listen, you know, sometimes as a goalkeeper, you're there to make saves, but that was an exceptional save and an important time for us. The one good thing about it is it obviously kept us a clean sheet, but it's also must give him a lot of confidence looking forward now. And to be honest, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but once Petr Cech went off, I weren't really that bothered. I'm not nothing against Petr Cech. I thought, we've got a good enough goalkeeper to come in and replace him. Over the years, you know, we've lost, you know, someone, and then we've had someone a bit dodgy go in there. But this time there, we've got a more than capable goalkeeper to come in, arguably as good as Cech, if not better. So as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't a problem, and he done really well, and he's got a chance now to really, you know, I don't know if he'll play on Thursday. I think maybe
Martinez
on Thursday.
And
make sure that he's all right for Fulham.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be smart to play Martinez on Thursday. You know, I think with Thursday's match being such a long way away and a massive 8-hour flight from London for the players. You know, I know they fly in luxury, but you normally for a European away match, you travel a maximum of 3 hours if you're traveling to Russia or you're traveling to the Ukraine. But in this case, they're traveling all the way to Azerbaijan. And I don't know if tiredness will play a factor. I think we made a good start in the Europa League. I hope we take it as seriously as possible and secure a passage into the last 32 as quickly as possible. And then we can reassess it in the new year. But it's I think tiredness may well play a factor. I think we'll win on Thursday, but I think it's also a hell of a long way to go and a little bit of a strange away day, even in Europe, for some of the players on Thursday.
And then an early start on Sunday. It's not like it's 12 o'clock kickoff, so there's not much recovery time. So
no,
you're going to have to box this one very carefully, like, you know. I'd imagine a few of us won't go.
With that in mind, do you think Aubameyang and Lacazette and a few others will be rested completely on Thursday?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think I think those sort of guys, Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette in particular, those three, I don't think will even travel. I think there'll be quite a few that stay home.
I think Welbeck will go. I think Welbeck. They'll take Emil Smith Rowe. They'll take quite a lot of the youngsters. They'll take Eddie and Nketiah as well. Like Leah said, they'll rest Ozil, Aubameyang. They'll rest Bellerin and I think they might take Holding and Mavropanos as well. If he's fit.
Kolasinac should play because he's been on the bench the last couple of games. So
Kolasinac as well. And personally, I think if they start with Martinez in goal, I'll be excited because that guy, he will come good soon as well. He could easily be our cup for the next season.
So, who would be your centre back pairing for Thursday, bearing in mind the travelling and all that? Because obviously you don't want to play Mustafi and Holding on Thursday, then play him again on Sunday, assuming Socrates is still not fit.
Holding with Vapanos, Holding and Mavropanos, easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'd assume you'd want Lexstein in and playing on Thursday as well. Or Bellerin and
play right back. I don't think Mavropanos is fit. I think he's injured.
He's just back in training. Yeah.
So you've got like Socrates. I think if he was fit, why not give him a little run out? And Mustafi, well, if he gets injured, who cares? So play him, so.
I'll get on to that as well.
Brain dead defender.
I'll get on to that. And with Mustafi, once we get our full set of centre backs fighting fit, who would be your centre back pairing?
Socrates and
Holding.
Socrates and Holding.
Holding, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. I just think with Mustafi.
You know we're right when Lee agrees with us. You know we're right.
I just think with Mustafi, I just feel he doesn't win enough headers. You know, like if you ever look at it, you know, he wins 50% of his headers. You know, we need someone that's going to win headers, and you know, like Rob Holding,
at least.
You know, Rob Holding done really well. You know, so you know, like I'd like to see Socrates. I think Socrates, to be fair, has proven me a little bit wrong because I felt at the beginning of the season he wasn't going to be up to standard, but he's got better and better. Hopefully, here if he's not going to play Thursday, then hopefully he'll be playing on Sunday, and then I wouldn't mind seeing Socrates and Holding at Fulham. At Craven Cottage. I wouldn't be too disappointed if I see them two in there, like, you know.
Yeah, I think they're the best partnership going forward. And I think with Mustafi, he's far too eager. He's far too quick to dive in to make a tackle, far too quick to go to ground. When you watch, for example, I was at the Atletico game at home back in April. You see that back line of Atletico with Jimenez and Godin. They don't panic. They just wait and then they make their challenge. And it could end up being a block, which you think, it's just a block, but that block leads to the ball going out of play where they can regroup. I think in the case of Mustafi, we paid an awful lot of money for him, and I think he's in a situation now where he's trying sometimes almost too hard to make that important tackle or to retrieve the ball. And I think going forward, I think the best thing would be Socrates and Holding, and for them to strike up a good partnership. And I think we'll become more robust in the centre of defence in that way too.
What Lee said, right? Was it last season, Lee? When you said something about stat DNA? Where did they find Mustafi from? you remember that, Lee? Remember when you said something about stat DNA and you're like, oh, where the hell did Ivan Gaviga find these players on AFTV? Was it?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That just struck me. You were mentioning Mustafi, right? And that just struck me in the head. I remember Lee Judge saying, where did they find this brain dead defender? What's this stat DNA? And I was thinking, that's coming to my head. That Lee Judge
if you ever look at it, right?
I agree with you because, like, if you heard what Gary Neville said I think last season or season before, he said that when I was managing Valencia, he was such a bad defender. I don't know how Arsenal even paid 10 million for him, let alone 35.
I look at it and I think to myself, when you've sort of signed Mustafi, what you're actually looking to buy, you know what I mean? And he's everything that we didn't require. We've got ball playing central defenders. We needed someone big, strong,
aggressive.
I still feel that we need someone in that position as well, because when Koscielny comes back, he's not going to be that sort of player. And I look at it, Van Dijk was the one that we should have gone for when he left Celtic.
True, definitely.
Not when he went to Southampton. Someone should have took a gamble on him. And when I think to say, like, people saying, they don't want to take a punt on him when he's 12 million, but they take a punt on a £30 million Mustafi, there's something not quite right at the club. Yeah. And that's what I feel. The one there I would take a little punt at is a Newcastle central defender. Is it Lascelles or whatever his name is?
Lascelles.
Why not take a little punt on him? Somebody like that. People going, Maguire's 30-40 million now. Well, that boat sailed because he was available for 12 million before he left Hull. So we've got to take a gamble on somebody that's a little bit cheap. Why not that one? But listen, they're going to have to look at buying another central defender somewhere along the line, because Koscielny's in his 30s. I don't think Koscielny's going to come back to the level that he was going to. So we've got to look in that department as well. So, and listen, guys, this is a question you have to ask yourselves: is that Mustafi would not be at the club if Arsenal would have got the price they wanted for him. But he's still playing in the team now, so that tells you something that it's not quite right, So, but in saying that, he's scored an important couple of goals this season. One was it against Cardiff, great header, and of course I'll always be thankful for the goal against Spurs last season. So he's not all bad.
That goal had me hyped up. The moment
so he is forgiven slightly, like, you know what I mean? Slightly.
you got to get. Okay, fair enough. Give him a few credit for the goals that he scored. I mean, fair enough. That Tottenham one, that had me, jumping around the whole living room. My parents asked me what's going on, and there go on. Just scored in. So, what's happening like that? And at times, he's a bit too rash the way he does things, and. £35 million, they can't just leave him on the bench because there'll be too much media criticism. You spent 35 million on a defender and you leave him on the bench. And you just like the media, you shut your mouth. No one cares what you got to say. But yeah.
But I think it'll be sold in January, It'll be sold in January, definitely sold in January.
I think that'd be a good move. I think it'd be good to sell him. I'm really interested to see who they identify. I'm really interested to see who they identify as a potential candidate. If I could choose, I'd go for the Inter Milan centre half, Stefan de Vrij, who played for Lazio and transferred recently to Inter Milan. Yeah. When he's fit and when he's comfortable in a back line, very rarely does he give the ball away. Very rarely does he panic. And although he's just only recently moved to Inter Milan, I think he's ambitious. He wants to be involved in the Dutch national team setup. He wants to grow as a player. I think if we could look at someone like him, I think that would be a decent move.
But what about Jimenez from Atletico Madrid? What about him?
Jimenez.
Jimenez. Yeah, definitely get him.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic shout. But I wonder if Arsenal would bring out, in a budget sense, the amount of money that he'd cost, because I think he'd cost between 40 and 50.
I was about to say 50.
Yeah. But why so Mustafi for say 30 million, they add 10 million on top of it, then we go money for Jimenez.
Yeah, no, it's
a very good, all day long,
good shout because he's a tub thumping centre half, and he likes it. He likes it a bit of rough and tumble, and I think he'd be right at home in the Premier League.
Of course.
And plus, he'll be playing alongside Trevor as well. He's international colleague, so they build that little bond there away from the international side of it. That's another thing. Trevor, what's people's impressions on Trevor so far this season?
I've been very impressed with him so far.
I think Saturday was a bit of a mixed bag. He's
true.
In stages he would be good and then he'd be bad. But up till then, when he had come on or whatever, he had been playing well. He had been making a difference. Just got to look back at Newcastle away when we won it at 0-0 at half time. Trevor's come on and literally within 5 minutes we were 1-0 up, and players like Xhaka, Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Özil are all in pushing forward because they've got that freedom to go forward because he's quite happy, even though he's not a natural CDM, just to sit back and protect our back line. Something we haven't had for how long now?
A long time.
For 14 years since Vieira was last year.
Vieira or Gilberto,
yeah. The second Gilberto, if we lost that.
Yes.
What about you, Lee? What do you think?
I think, you have to look at it with Terrell. I thought on Saturday, if I'll be honest about it, I think that it was a tough game physically. Watford were a tough side, and I felt that probably for the first time his height, if I would say, went against him a little bit. You know what I mean? He was a little bit out-muscled at times. Not out-muscled. It was a tough game, but I didn't think he lost the battle. But I don't think he won the battle in midfield. So that's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? They're big guys, strong, powerful side. Listen, Watford are going to cause problems against a lot of teams this season. I'll tell you.
Look what he did to Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a tough game for him. I felt that he came across it really well. I think that the good thing is you're not going to play well every week, and it wasn't probably one of his better games. But did he shy out of it? Did he go missing? Definitely not. He was there to the end, and so listen. I think he's made a really good start. It's something that we've needed for a long while. What I do like about him, if you watch the game, if someone goes out of position, he drifts over to the right back and covers that. Drifts over to the left back, covers that, and just nicks the ball and gets things started again. And has got that pass where he looks to go forward with it. It's nothing against El Nini, but El Nini gets the ball, probably does the same thing, breaks it up, goes sideways. Torella gets the ball, breaks it up, and puts in a lovely little ball forward. So I'm quite pleased with him at the moment, and I think he can only get better once he's adapted. Look, can't even speak English at the moment. So this time next season, I think we're going to have a player on our hands.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think his experience in Serie A is going to help us as well. I think he's adjusting to the pace. I think he's enjoying it as well, which is good. I think that's a common denominator with with all players at the moment. I think they're enjoying life under Emery. He's assessing the squad, giving everybody a good chance, and I think it's a very good buy from Arsenal to get him from Sampdoria, especially for the price we got him as well. And very pleased.
Could have got 60 million after the World Cup. I'm glad we got our business done early. Glad we got it done early. Otherwise, it would have been 60, 70 million towards the last year.
What? Okay, the next player I want to get on to, Bellerin. What are people's opinions of his season so far, from what he's played? Because personally, I would.
Solid.
He started off a bit Wengerized. He still had that sort of way.
I love that word, Wengerized.
He still had them sort of traits that have been coached into him by Wenger, in the sense of if going forward, no problem. But when it's coming to defending, he was giving the attackers too much space. I think over the last few games, he's sort of been coached actually, no, there's times at the time and a place when you're tracking back, don't give them so much space, close it down quickly, and eliminate all possibilities of them getting into any form of attack. And I've got to say another thing as well. I've been impressed with actually. He's crossing the season. It's far better than what it has.
More accurate. It's a lot more accurate.
Yeah,
the crossing's a lot more accurate, and I think he's taking ideas from Emery on board. And it may sound silly,
and Nick Steiner's coaching him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also might sound a bit silly, but he's got a manager teaching him and communicating with him in his mother tongue, so he understands everything that man is telling him. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to say that he didn't understand Arsene Wenger, but obviously when a Spanish is is helping his countrymen, the simple and the very, very small details he fully understands.
True.
And I think there is improvement from Bellerin. I think we'll continue to see him improve. And it's a good sign, you know. I'm just pleased that Emery is giving everybody a fair chance, and it's very, very good signs, guys. As you know, I'm an hour ahead here in the Netherlands, so I'm going to sign off now. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you all tonight. Really enjoyed it, and enjoy the game on Thursday. And I'll catch up with you all soon.
Thanks again, James.
Take care, James.
Love you, James.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, James. Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye bye.
Yeah, Lee, you're saying you're impressed with Bellerin. You think he looks solid.
I just think that, you know, listen, he gets a little bit unfair criticism, if I'll be honest. And I think at the end of the day, if, you know, he's always going to be those ones. If he has a bad game, people are going to get on his case. But listen, when he first come onto the scene, another one, a little bit like Iwobi, was brilliant for us. And he's just starting to produce performances now when I haven't seen him skin that many times, if I'll be honest. You know, the chance from success on Saturday against Watford was from the left-hand side under Monreal's watch. So, but I don't see him getting absolutely roasted at this moment in time. I felt that he played Richarlison well the other week as well, and he's getting forward and giving us real options. And I'll always say this: if you ever look at his work rate, he's up and down, up and down. He's doing doggies up that 70, 80-yard doggies game, you know, time and time, game by game. And I think that, you know, great point made there. Liechtenstein's probably helping him out as well, coaching wise. And I think that he's done okay. And I think that you know, he's getting better and improving as the season goes on. So at this moment in time, I'm not going to criticise Bellerin. I think he's done fairly well.
I think what also benefits Hector this season really is he has got competition for his place.
True.
Where previous seasons, well, previous seasons where the whole Debuchy, Indiago with and then Jenkinson just not good enough to even contest with Bellerin in the first place. So having that sort of calibre of player as well come in on a free as well, who's just come from probably the most dominant league and dominant team in Serie A for like how many years. He now knows if not only can this guy help me, but also if I don't take on board him and the coaching setup helping me, he's ready to come in, and I might not get back in for the rest of the season.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know what I mean? I think, like, you know, and that's the good thing at the moment. There's competition, whether it's great competition, but there is competition for places all round.
Yeah,
you know? And also the manager's not afraid to use it. You know, like you know, if you look at it from a player's point of view, he's hauled off Ozil at times. He's hauled off Aaron Ramsey. You know, 20-25 minutes into the game, he's not been afraid to take Aubameyang off for the last 3 games as well. So all of a sudden, if you're actually seeing that and you're thinking as a player, he took them off. If he can take them off, I've got to make sure I keep my game. Otherwise, I could be in trouble here. So I think it's a good thing all round. You know what I mean? So,
and also, if I take Lacazette off the other day until he scored. Who's our last game against? Newcastle. To take it off, but he scored. So that saved him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Everton.
Yeah,
Everton. Everton. Literally just about to take him off. He scored it. Actually, no. For the good of the team, I kept him on for a few more minutes, and then we evaluated things, and he made enough. He brought Aubameyang off instead.
Yeah. Also, Rob Holding says in paper that Emery has turned them into winners. The 7 games unbeaten because of Emery and his education, and turned them all into winners, which I totally love.
Well, exactly. Also, I've got to get onto as well, because we've got to remember because people at the beginning of the season, after we played Chelsea, were comparing us and Chelsea because we both had new managers, and I've been saying, no, you can't compare the two, because Chelsea are literally every other year they're rotating their manager in, out. So their players are used to new ideas from different managers every other season. Whereas we've had Wenger for 22 and a half years pretty much. To go from that, and in that period, that last 10 years, you've got lots of fans that have been there, Bellerin for the last 3 to 4 years. All players have been bought into Wenger's philosophy. You're then asking them and all the other players to then straight away just adapt to a new ideology and new ideas just like that.
True.
And you can't expect that from. It'd be stupid and naive for anyone to believe that Emery was going to come in within a few weeks and click your fingers and our defence, goalkeeper, everything was going to just be perfect and we're going to compete for the title straight away. You've got to give the guy time. And what helps Emery and embed his ideas and his philosophy is winning. And not only winning now, we're getting clean sheets back to back.
True. Yeah.
Which helps the players then go, okay, well, what he's doing is working, and they take it on even more, and they believe in it. And you just look at Pep Guardiola in his first season. This is a guy that came in, inherited a Pellegrini squad, didn't win. This is also a guy that always won a trophy everywhere he'd been, every season. First season, didn't win nothing. But that first season, in the end, he's assessing who's good enough for his philosophy, his style of play. Second, straight away, he's then gone like Clichy, Sanya, Zabaleta, Nasri. You're not good enough. Off you go. And he's gone and got bigger and better players that fall into his philosophy. Even Joe Hart was like, "You on time?
Bye."
So you can't be okay for Pep to do that, but not for Emery to do it at Arsenal. Emery's doing the exact same thing as Guardiola's done.
True.
He's got to take Emery maybe that bit longer. I do believe we'll get top 4. It'll be close, but we'll get it. I do believe he can take us back, get us back to at least competing. And if he doesn't renew his contract, the next person that takes over has got an incredible job to come into.
True.
Yeah, I also think, if I'll be honest, you can't compare with any other team. You can't compare us to Chelsea because they're changing managers every other time. Man City have done the same over the last few years. It's, and we're in a unique situation where it's been 20 or 22 years, is it, that we've had one manager. So things are going to be totally different for us that they're going to be for any other team. And you look at Manchester City, it's all right, they can overall 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players because they've got the budget to replace them with signings like De Bruyne, like blah 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 blah. So we've got to go down a different route, and also with Chelsea have spent more money than us this season because they've got a little bit more financial clout. So I don't think we should compare ourselves to anybody else. We've got a job to do. The manager's got a job to do. And I also think that maybe our ambitions are a little bit different to what they should be. I've always felt that Arsenal should be challenging for the league over the last few years, and we've not been able to do that. But we've dropped ourselves down now, so we've got to say, right, well, we're in this position where we're 6 in the league of last season. So we've got, we're 6 in the league. So we've now got to try and somehow bridge the gap to get into the top 4 and just build it by slowly, slow steps. But it is key. If we don't get the Champions League this season, guys, it's 3 years, and that 3 years is too long for a club like Arsenal to be out of that competition. Yeah. So,
look at Liverpool.
Exactly. We've got to realistically forget about what everyone else is doing. Concentrate on what we're doing, game by game, points by points. As you said, we're 4 points off the top at this stage, which we've gained 2 points off of from our last. Since we lost our first 2, so to come back and now win the next 5 is good stuff. So it's encouraging, yeah. So let's look at the positives, and I don't really want to. We can't ever compare ourselves with Man City, and not even Manchester United as well. People annoys me when people say, "Oh, look what Man United done with Ferguson and all that." Well, I don't really want to look to that because we've not had 300, 400 million to spend on players like they have as well. So you can't even compare ourselves to them.
True.
Just concentrate on what we're doing.
Very true.
Exactly. I've just got a question in on the chat from Chuguna saying, basically, would you freeze Ramsey out or keep him in the squad until the transfer window if he starts to rebel now that everything's going the way it's going?
Listen. He's not rebelled anything. He's not rebelled anything, is he?
No, but I'm saying what he's saying is, if he did go down that route, well, actually, you know what? You're not doing this to me publicly. I'm going to do this.
I honestly think that he's been at this club for 12 years. He's broke his leg playing for this club. I don't think that he would. I don't think that he would do that. I've watched him as bad as he played on Saturday. He still worked hard. I still see him making runs. He wasn't shrugging his shoulders and walking around like Mesut Ozil has done on a few occasions. Newcastle the other week when I was up there, I couldn't believe the work rate that he put in, and at Cardiff the work rate as well. Listen. He's not playing well at the moment, but he's still working hard. I don't think that he'll rebel. And listen, we're still paying his wages, and he's still an Arsenal player. So if he needs to be used, then we use him. Simple as that.
Yeah, I personally think he wants to stay at the club, no doubt about that. But I think it's going to for what Emery's trying to do. It's going to take him longer to adapt because of how many years he's been used to one manager's ideas. So he's now got to change everything he's learned from one guy. And change his whole style for Emery. Because of what he's gone through, it will take time.
Chris Coleman got the best out of him in the Euros
2016.
It's absolutely outstanding in that competition. So if Chris Coleman can do it within a few weeks, then surely Unai Emery can do it within a couple of months. Maybe it's just the way that they play and the system that they play at the moment doesn't suit. And I'll be honest, why it doesn't suit is because we haven't got a wide player that stretches the defence. Now, if we had a wide player with pace that stretches the defence, it opens up space in those little gaps which Ramsey could exploit. But at this moment in time, we've not got that player, and we haven't got, so the benefits of using Ramsey are not there. And I think that even Mesut Ozil would struggle in there when it's so compact. But, listen, I agree that maybe they're looking to go down a different route, but, also you have to say that he is a professional footballer, why would he want to sulk? Why would maybe if he's not been given the contract that he's been asked for, it's been withdrawn. There must be a reason why that is. But I've not seen. I don't think that he will sit there and sulk. I'll be very disappointed if he does.
Hey Lee, do you want to know something? What's come up in the past half an hour on Twitter is that Nabil Fekir has rejected a new contract at Lyon. So if we do sell Ramsey, would you take Nabil Fekir at Arsenal?
That's a great shout. Yes. It's a great shout. Yes. Yeah, I would.
I would too.
Yeah, that's a great shout. And if that is the case, he's got going to have more chance of having more games at Arsenal than he is Liverpool, because Liverpool's sort of team is sort of really nailed on to what it's going to be. I would definitely go for that. That would be a very, very good move.
Fekir and Lacazette together, right?
Again.
You will see them two. They're going to light up the Prem. I guarantee, if we get Fekir in January, and him and Lacazette play together, I guarantee you something, Lee, we're going to get Champions League football.
That is the key thing. January's got to do that. They've got to bring in somebody of that ilk to make sure that gives us pushes us into that top four.
Gives us the best options going forward.
Yeah, that's it. We've got to have the impetus going forward. If we're in and around it by January and we don't buy no one, then you can forget about it. But if they come in and inject with a couple of players, we've got a great chance.
True.
Yeah. Just getting on that, you mentioned about the wide players before. We mentioned Fekir there. Do you think Emery should stick at playing Aubameyang out on the wing and Lacazette down the middle?
Just to working at the moment.
Well, it's not working at the moment. But saying, do you change formation or you drop one of the two?
No, I don't think. Listen, we're winning games, mate. We're winning games. You know what I mean? So until that doesn't happen, you know, I think you've got to go with it until something else goes along. At the moment, you know, Lacazette is playing really, really well. I wouldn't want to drop Lacazette for Aubameyang. And, you know, when Aubameyang has played up front in a couple of games that he didn't impress me, you know. So at this moment in time, he's not playing really well, but, you know, he's still a class act. And I would persevere with it at the moment and see how it goes. That's my personal opinion.
Definitely.
Okay. But what about you, Sam?
Yeah. Can you repeat the question again?
Not paying attention. It's only been what 9 games has it been now? It's this season or competitions? What are people's impressions? What are people's overall impressions so far of Unai Emery when he's back from start and what they're doing so far?
Well, so far, you know, everyone's content. We'll see how the season goes. But like I've said before, I will give Unai Emery a free season. A free season this season pass. I will not criticize him no matter what he does, because this is the first season, and you got to remember it is a tough job to take after, especially after Wenger left and the amount of stuff he left behind, the amount of rubbish and dead players he left behind. It's going to take time to fix. And I think this season, what I've said before at the start of the show, I think as long as we get Champions League football next season, I'll be happy. If we can pick up Champions League football, whether it's winning the Europa or the top 4, I'll be content. And if we do win anything, if we win something this season, then it'll be a bonus. So all my goal is this season is Champions League football, one way or another.
Can't argue with
that. See, I told you, yeah, you're right. But when he says, you know what, I can't argue with that. Your opinion was right, and it comes right from the heart, deep down inside of me. I don't know. I think we should get Leon here more often. Every time Lee comes on here,
he's got to be available first. He's got to be available first, Sam.
Let me get more superstars on here, and that's when the true me starts to come out. You understand?
Yeah, we've found that out in Turkish as well.
Yeah.
God
forbid what you'll be like to get troops in there, bloody hell.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make this thing go nuts.
No,
it'd be like Dr. Dre and Eminem. You know what I mean? It'd be like, you've got true being Dr. Dre and I'm Eminem, and the other said, so we're happy to do that too.
I'm personally, I'm loving this. This is, as I said before the season started, this is the first season I've gone into and I've felt genuinely excited going into the season. And I find it so refreshing to see a manager on the touchline, even when we're winning 2-0 or whatever, still barking orders, dictating what you get there, or if be this, that, and the other. And if he's not doing it, he's got his right-hand man coming out and doing it for him.
And Juan Carlos,
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, another thing with Juan Carlos as well, a couple of times this season, Torreira after Chelsea was on the pitch basically saying, what the hell, basically. I'm trying to be PC.
Yeah.
Basically, you weren't good enough. You need to do this, that, and the other to improve on the pitch just after we just lost. And then again, he did it again after we beat Cardiff to Mustafi on the pitch.
Stuff a year.
Well, we've never seen. I've never seen that from Steve Ball, for example. And I still don't get why Steve Ball's there. No disrespect to the guy. He's a club legend and what he did and everything as a player. But I thought with him staying, this would be his chance to sort of step out and say, this is what I'm doing now. I am my own man. I haven't seen anything different from what I saw after the last couple of seasons under Wenger. I don't know, what do you think, guys?
Well, I think that maybe he's doing a little more behind the scenes in training and things like that, you know. So you cannot, when you're coaching or managing, you can't have too many people saying
on the touchline.
Yeah, on the touchline. You know, too many people giving out too much information. But I think that maybe on the coaching field and training and all that, he's probably doing a lot more than what he was under Arsene Wenger. And I'd imagine that he's being quite influential on that side. Also, like, you know, teaching the two new guys what the Arsenal way, you know, and how it works and everything like that. So I think it's a good move. It was a good move to keep him there, and it's a chance for him to shine and show that he is part of it, and that he can be the coach what everybody says that he was when he first got into it, because he done fantastically well with the under-18s. He was
I remember
very good with the defence. So hopefully he's been given a license to coach on a training field.
Sort of express himself, sort of thing.
Yeah, and we don't get to see that obviously because
so
we only see what's on match day, like, you know?
Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong. I didn't disagree with him staying. It was just you'd think they'd give him more free rein and like make him sort of a defensive guy, because he's, as you said, defensively at the youth level he was always. That was his thing. One of the main things that stood out, what he coached. And I remember when he first came in under Wenger, first couple of games, our defence looked a lot better, a lot more organised. And suddenly that just fell apart. And then there's rumours coming out that Wenger stopped it, because Steve Ball was doing extra training on the defence for the whole squad. And as soon as Steve Ball started getting praise about me, Wenger pulled the plug on that about me. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm hoping he's been given that sort of free rein now. But it'd be nice if they did that. They could show, they do show clippings every week of them training and all that. It'd be nice to see him be out there, basically doing his own little bit of training. You know what I mean? It then shows the fans that are on his back. That basically, you know, he's having a positive impact. This is what he's doing, and then we can see that being relayed onto the pitch. Now, another thing, well, until this season, I can't remember the last time a whole squad of players went at Arsenal went into the training pitch looking happy and actually training and being happy throughout. And then taking it and put it onto the pitch. It's been, I don't know, I actually can't remember the last time I personally saw that, because even when the Aubameyang came to us back in January, you see kids of them going onto the training, they just looked downbeat, and I don't know what it was, but there was something there that just wasn't right. But now there's everything going on that since you guys come in. They just look more happy, more upbeat, they want to be there every day. They don't care about the double training sessions and all that market. They enjoy it.
And do you know something else I haven't mentioned, Ryan? Media has not praised us on how fit we and Arsenal have been as a team. When Tottenham last year, they was praising them, but not about Arsenal this year at all. You noticed that?
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Basically, how the media. We're winning games. We're winning games ugly. We win.
Yeah.
Some of the media have got on our backs. So Gary McConnell and Alan Shearer have all got on our backs and said that we've got no underbelly, we've got no guts, no determination. We can't win ugly. We win ugly. Yes. Back to back as well. Clean sheets, and we don't get the praise. But
no praise at all.
But you know what? Once that's happening, I'll take that. I'll take it. You know why? We'll just keep going under the radar then.
Of course,
no pressure on us. There's no pressure. It's like, okay, what we keep picking up Tottenham and Man United and all that. We'll just do our own thing.
True.
And catch you off by surprise, which at the moment I think we are doing. Because I don't think anyone expected outside of Arsenal for us to do what we're doing at the moment. Be what as you said, 4 points off the top. We're not going to win the league. I won't say we're going to win the league, but I'm just saying to be that close in after losing our first 2 games.
Yeah. Very impressive.
And then you've got Tottenham haven't got a ground. They're playing either Milton Keynes one week, Wembley the other week, or down the road from me the next.
But why haven't they been fined by the Premier League? Not having a solid ground? Because we got fined in 1999, no 1991 for that before as well. We got a 4 point ban. Probably take it off us. But I suppose that's not talking about at all.
Yeah, because the rumor with that is because there's lots of Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Trippier, certain English players in the England squad, and they're afraid of upsetting them at Tottenham. They do that. They'll do a John Terry and go, "We're not playing for England anymore. Then if you do this to us."
True. Yeah.
Because remember John Terry when he with the whole who was it? And was it Anton Ferdinand?
Yeah, Anton. Yeah.
Anton Ferdinand in that whole situation, and the court of law got cleared of everything, but the FA weren't happy, and they got involved, and they punished him himself. And within half an hour, he was like, well, "Basically, F you, I'm not playing for the country no more. I retire." Now I think they're afraid of that happening again with this lot.
True, yeah.
That and backhanders. I mean, what backhanders they are, because Tottenham can't afford anything at the moment. They're that much debt. They can't even sign a player. They can't even sign the Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
That's funny though. After all that, he's now signed a 5-year deal at Aston Villa. After all that.
Yeah, must be a clause in that.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, I'm going to have to run because it's...
Yeah, I was about to wrap up now, so thanks for coming on, Lee.
No, I appreciate that. Good chat, yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on. I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on anyway. I appreciate taking time out.
Love you, Lee. Love you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Of course.
We love you, Lee. You're the king. You're the king. We love you. And Lee, follow me back on Twitter, bro.
I appreciate. At the end of the day, I appreciate you taking time out because I know you're a very busy person, very popular.
Yeah. No worries. Cheers, guys. I'll see you soon. Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks, Lee.
Take care, Lee. Bye, Lee.
Cheers. Listen, take on, mate.
Bye, brother.
I'm winning, bro. I'm winning this game.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, just to summarise, we're going to look forward now to the Europa League and then Fulham. What do you guys, results-wise, scored on? What do you believe the scorelines will be for the next Europa League and then Fulham away on Sunday for the early kick-off? And do you think anyone will be dropped or anything on Sunday?
I think the Europa League will win 3-0.
Right.
And Fulham probably 2-0 or 2-1. 2-1 against Fulham on Sunday.
Yes, so yeah. Sam, what about you?
2-0 and 2-1.
What? The game on Sunday?
The result for Europa League and then the result on Sunday as well.
Okay, so the game on Thursday, 3-0 Arsenal. The game on Sunday, 2-1 Arsenal.
Same to me. Yeah.
I think Sunday will be a close one because the London derby and Fulham have got something to fight for themselves. Points. I'll say that'll be 2-1, 2-0. Yeah. Until I see who's playing, I can't batter either way. Thursday. I think they're about either 3-0 or 4-0, depending on the lineup he puts out.
True.
But yeah, we're wrap up now. Thanks guys for coming on. taking time out.
No problem, Lee, Richard. No problem, man.
No, I will get you back on. I'll DM you guys and all that to get you back on. Thanks, Sam. Again.
Thanks, man. No problem. I told you, man. If you bring big stars on, you definitely know I'd come on. Yeah, obviously, you know, I got a big respect for me in it. I just told you,
but the thing is,
thank you guys so much. I've got to go now. I've got uni in the morning, so I've got to do prepare and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah.
I was just going to say quickly. Thing is, we both now know Troop will want to come on this year.
Yeah.
He said he'll come on anytime. We've just got to DM him and all that. So.
Yeah, what did I say on Saturday? If you ask him, like Troops is humble in that. If you ask him, will you come on my show? Can you do this? Can you do that? Ask him nicely, right? And he'll say yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Don't just go, boy, come in.
Trust me. Like whenever I see him, I'll go, yo.
I've seen him quite a few times out and about in other events, like the Sky event back in the beginning of the season and all that, back down in London. He's one of the most genuine, humble. He doesn't allow the bubble that is over TV, that popularity can get to his head.
True.
He's so genuine, down to earth. He's just like, as far as he's just a normal everyday fan. Which, with all due respect, he's on a platform that's so popular, and he's one of the most popular people on that platform.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're finished off now. We'll be back again next Monday, that same time again for the film review. That'll be fun.
Yeah, who's going to be on next Monday?
I'm talking to a couple of people at the moment. They haven't confirmed yet. But I will let you as soon as I know definitely. I'll get on to you, Sam.
I see. You know me. You bring in a big star here. You know I'm going to turn up. You know I am going to turn up. I'm like, yeah, allow everything else. I'm turning up on this thing. You understand? But yeah, respect Ryan. Mr. Fury as well. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet Sam. Nice to meet you, brother.
Sam, I can tell you who's going to be on the first review after international break.
Pardon?
I can tell you who's going to be on the first review after the international break for the Leicester review.
Who's going to be on there?
Your favourite man. Not Troops. He's been on before.
Turkish?
Yeah.
What 29th?
Yeah.
29th is my birthday, bro. Yeah, that's happy birthday. Cool. Lisbon review, yeah. After Lisbon and Lisbon and Cardiff review. That's my birthday and everything. You understand? Yeah, Turkish, you understand? It's gonna be lit, yeah. Big man things, obviously. Yeah, but yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Mr. Fury, it's nice to meet you. Love all you guys. Love this podcast. Love this show. Love to be, of course. Love to be part of it. But yeah, thank you. Good night.
And on that note, I'll wish you a good night and see you next week. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button. Don't miss any more shows, and see you next week.